external manufacturing, it does cover and bring together so many different functions in order to deliver a drug product end to end. In your experience around bringing together these different functions into a virtual plant team, what makes for a good CMC operating model?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a great question. I mean, in my experience working with many partners at this point, probably more than 15, what is
Mm.
really key is the structure that you have internally, and then externally. So what the CMO can see of your structure when dealing with partners, because
Mhm.
um, in a regular site, you would have all of your people and all of your functions, and it's probably going to be like big groups depending on the volumes of the site that are all in the same facility. They meet every day. So you can rely on that like day to day personal interaction, which is just not there when you're working with several CMOs. You do have interaction, but it's all like, for the most part at least, it's remote through platforms such as Teams, Zoom,
Mhm.
whatever one is using, but it's anyways digital tools that we are using for the regular interactions. And it's so lot more important that um, you know who needs to manage what, and the CMO knows who they need to reach out to for the different matters where they need input from their client. So in MSD, but I think in most of the companies these days, um, there is a model that's established that we used to call Focus Factory in MSD, which may not convey necessarily the idea. Other companies call it
Mm.
virtual plant team, which is maybe a bit more straightforward. And what it is, it's really just you have to imagine like in a site, you have representatives from all of your main functions, which would be operations, technology, quality, and supply chain and procurement for the most part.
Mm.
And this would be entire teams in a site, and in EXM, it's generally one individual accountable per function, and it can be supported by different people depending on the amount of business that's managed through the CMO. So this is key in my view, um, because there is then a very clear supporting model for day to day with the CMO and also for escalations. So
So we're talking about roles such as quality assurance, technology, procurement, supply chain, operations, uh, all of those like sort of key team leads. Would you be looking to pair them up with their equivalent at the CDMO?
yeah, that's where sometimes it can get challenging
Mm.
because the answer would be yes. But of course, the CMO is interacting with so many companies, and not all of them may have this model. I think it's a very broadly accepted type of model, maybe in bigger companies with more of an history in EXM. But I can imagine that smaller companies tend to be maybe leaner. They may not have all of these functions or divided in the same way. So certainly it cannot be matched up 100% at the CMO.
Mm.
So, for example, we see that during the tech transfer space, there is a very clear match between technology and the technical project manager at the CMO. This kind of fades out when you move to more of a commercial space. Um, in many CMOs, then a business manager takes over, and this supporting technical function goes away. That
Mhm.
means in a commercial model, the operations manager and the technology representative may have the same point of contact, which is the business manager. So it doesn't mean that each function needs to be one-to-one matched at the CMO, but you do need to know where it is matched, even if it is the same person or the same function. So it's important to establish that link. Doesn't have to be exact, but you just need to know um, how it works. Otherwise,
Mhm.
then in the commercial space, for example, as a technology person, you'd be kind of lost. You need something, but who are you going to reach out to? Because there's no technical project manager, but you also may not have a direct link to the production team. So who am I going to reach out to? So you still need to establish that link, even if it doesn't mean that the model needs to be exactly the
Could
same.
you talk to me about escalation paths, please?
The first thing I'd say about escalation is we need to move away from escalation being negative
Mm.
to a more constructive meaning for this term. So escalation is not, oh, this person is not doing their job. I'm gonna escalate it. If it is this, it shouldn't be, and it should change. Escalation should be looked at as the team has done everything they could working together to resolve this issue, but we just couldn't get what the program needs. So we need to bring it to the next level together
Hmm. Hmm.
to to help resolution and so on, right? So it really shouldn't be escalation shouldn't be like, oh, I'm tired, I've been asking for this 3 weeks, now I'm gonna escalate it um, behind people's back and just surprise them with, oh, I talked to your manager, by the way. It shouldn't be like this. And I think with the last CMO that I've been working with, we were able to really build it in a constructive way in which we were uh, telling each other whenever something gets escalated, which is really important. So whenever something is going to be escalated, it shouldn't just be escalated without prior notification to the level at which it was residing before. It should be said openly. I need this, I haven't gotten it. I think we should escalate.